famous, #1 desirable. I do what I want when I want and how I want it. Leave you with the one in the air, that's how I roll. I got change to throw, I don't care about no goal. Better, so much better, flipping incredible. Always on the show so they know that I still got it. And I never feel sorry, yeah, on top of the world. This is me, I'm so royal. And you all wanna be round. Yeah, you all wanna be round. Round a champion, a champion.
All right, welcome to the Uniq Xpressions podcast, where I am your host, Destinee Jae, and we also have our returning guest co-host, Jus-D. All right, wave to the people, Jus-D. All right, we have all reunited back to talk about the Battle of the Sexes series, and this is the finale group chat. We all aren't here, but most of us are. So we previously discussed the women versus the men. Then we separated the men and the women by themselves, which were all discussions proving or dispelling the preconceived notions that men and women think about each other and toward the opposite sex as well. We touched on topics like the differences between real men versus dated, protection of Black women, politics, sex, singles versus married people, cheating, the angry Black woman syndrome, pregnancy, Kevin Samuels, men's emotions or lack thereof, and what men and women really want from each other. I learned quite a lot myself about the opposite sex in general from these discussions, but now I would like to hear how this battle series affected everyone else here. So how do you feel? Anybody want to start?
I feel good.
Okay.
I enjoyed listening to everyone else speak, but as far as me and myself, I already know where I stand. So
okay, all right. Anybody else? Anybody learn anything new, or their topic? Any topic changed the way they thought about just men and women, or the world in general? Because we talked about politics and a lot of stuff we talked about. It wasn't, just men and women in general. Anybody have any thoughts or?
But it was just interesting to hear the men's perspective on some of the things they were talking about. On the one, because I only was on one, I was only able to make one, and it was just interesting hearing it. And then I saw your you posted a video today, and it was a brother talking about the 3 types of women that are easy to cheat on.
Yes.
And yeah, I agree with him.
That was on point.
Yeah.
That was
and we are gonna talk about that. We definitely are gonna have. That's gonna be one of the future shows, and I would like all the male members to be in attendance for that, to see if maybe we can disprove whether it's true or it's not. But it was very interesting. I agree with a lot of it myself, but I know we're gonna have some women that don't, or maybe somebody has something new to bring to the topic. Anything like that. I can tell you from my experience, I learned quite a lot about myself. Did anybody learn anything about themselves or things they had to change?
Come on, man, y'all ain't speaking. Speak up.
Yeah, right. Why we gotta do all of that?
Yeah, I know.
Learn anything about the women? Nothing?
I want to speak. It's Momo.
Yeah, Momo. Yes.
Okay. I learned something about myself.
Okay.
I learned that I don't need to beat myself up about my choice or the way I conduct myself with the opposite sex and stuff. Like, I don't know if you guys remember the last podcast I made. I only been to one other Battle of the Sexes, and that we were talking about how I was in a love triangle, and
Yes.
I felt so bad about it. So, and I was like reluctant to open up about it. And then when I did, I felt so much better. I'm like, you know what? I ain't hurting nobody. I ain't killing nobody. I ain't robbing nobody.
Yeah, you got a lot of love.
My life.
Yeah.
Living my life. Right.
Yes.
And
yes.
you know what? It is what it is. I'm just exploring life.
Right.
And so I just learned not to beat
Period,
myself
Momo.
up so much about my situation.
Right.
Yes, and just the freedom to be yourself and A lot of us women got a
I
lot of
told
love
you.
to give.
Come on,
I
men, speak
told
up,
you
men.
Yes, they got real quiet
they
on that
both
one.
serve. They
I
both.
know they ain't
Yeah, I
saying a
know, right?
word.
But
I didn't
I'm
know
serious
explorer is
though.
what they call it nowadays.
It's
What?
is there even a I don't know a name for that? I don't know.
Wait, can y'all explain what y'all are talking about? Because I
Did
missed
you
that.
guys learn anything
Okay.
from us women?
I learned that y'all do have. I learned that y'all do have us on a very high pedestal. Y'all expect a lot from us. Y'all hold us to a very high standards. Then that's not a bad thing. I mean, I can see that it will cause us to stop being complacent. It will stop us from being lazy or anything like that. But it kind of force us to have to get back to I guess getting y'all to trust us just with your hearts or stuff like that. Because I mean, I'm seeing that. I mean, y'all want somebody to come and like protect and provide and all kinds of stuff like that, but y'all are more now depending on yourselves to do it instead of a man. And I think that yeah, it's a lot of our faults. A lot. Well, I wouldn't say it would be our faults, but a lot of it just got lazy of just trying to get y'all to trust us again or something like that. We just like it's whatever, and then y'all are like whatever. But I think I'm learning that we have to just listen to each other now. Like instead of pointing fingers at who's wrong or trying to get us to see, like, well, men do this, like that's me. Men do this, we do this for y'all, we do this, and then y'all come like, we do this for you. Instead of just doing that, just say, well, what more can I do for you, or what more can y'all do for us? And
Can I say something? Can I say something to that? Can I say something to that?
Sure.
So, brother, I don't know what your name is because it says something.
Marielle.
Marielle. So what I say is the black man is a king to me. Black man is a king. This ain't something new with the women having to feel like they have to hold it down because the brothers weren't stepping up to the plate. And it's a lot of stuff with what the black man has to deal with, what the black woman has to deal with in today's society. One thing, they're trying to eradicate our black men. And,
correct.
And now they're trying to eradicate black women. If you black, you just are in danger. So getting past that, the thing with black men not stepping up to the plate, that's not nothing new. That's been going on for a long, long time. Yep. So the black woman, because for the majority of it, and there are some exceptions, I'm not saying every brother's like that, but for the black women, they've had to step up to the plate because they got to hold it down. Now, a lot of black women want a brother that would be there responsible and step up to the plate, but if they don't do it, then who else got to do it? The black woman got to do it. But don't get it twisted. I know for me and the women, and I'm in the older category, we want a brother there, a man there that would step up to the plate and that we can share responsibility in whether it's raising children or grandchildren or just being partners with each other and not want, nothing in any relationship is 50-50. It's very rare you're going to get something 50-50. Right. It may be 90-10. But if you in it, and that's what you're in it for, and it fluctuates. So I'm not one of those women that, I don't need a man. No, I don't need a man because I can do it on my own. Right. But it's nice to have a man, for me, a man there to partnership with and have a companionship with and to enhance what I have. And I would want to enhance what he has. And so it's like that's just my thought.
And I have to agree with Sandra wholeheartedly. I have to agree with her wholeheartedly.
Me too. Yeah, definitely. And it's funny that you say that because I was looking at a show. I was looking at Kevin Samuels. I look at Kevin Samuels quite a lot. And he was saying how he said, without women, men could go on and live, but without men, women would die.
Yeah,
What?
that's not true.
We need to have another show about Kevin Samuels in the U.S.
That's not
Not
true.
true. Not
If you
true.
have a strong woman will not die if she's strong.
Look,
I don't think that's
Never
true.
seen any men give birth. Have
I
you?
get his
Check
point.
this out,
I
check
get
this
I get the point that he's
People-
making. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
check this out. With just theoretically speaking, if we did not have men and there was artificial insemination, we could still procreate without
Right.
a man with a scientist that was
Exactly.
and have a woman's body. You need a woman's body
Exactly.
Yeah.
to procreate. Now they cloning stuff and all that other stuff. So maybe a man scientist could make something and clone a woman, but a woman can procreate without a man in today's age with this artificial insemination.
Now, I want to say that because this is absolutely it's y'all don't even need artificial insemination to. There was a point of time where there was only the female species. I mean, if you date back all the way back to pretty much the beginning of procreation of any species, even out to bacteria, you have some bacteria where it's only female and they was just asexual reproduction. Now, there's a reason on why men are around though, because y'all can do that. Men, the Y chromosome is a mutation of the human species, or just species, period. It's because we are supposed to protect y'all while y'all in that state of recreation. Okay, so y'all technically need us as far as like physically and protecting and providing, because we also hold the and as I say, I kind of get what he was saying in the sense of holding a environment or maintaining an environment where y'all can or where you can recreate, but. Can y'all? But y'all are definitely like, and I wrote a poem about this too, and in the point of my poem, it was saying that y'all are the nerves that wrap around our spine, meaning like, we can have bones or whatsoever, but without women or something like that, it won't continue. Like society can't prevail, but without men, there can't be an environment or a safe environment or a nice environment or peaceful environment for us to, or for y'all to recreate. Because if y'all in a stressful environment or whatsoever, y'all can lose the baby. Y'all probably won't even become ovulated to have or to produce or anything like that. So I'm just saying, I think it's to maintain the creation or maintain the species. Y'all need. We need women to protect the species. We need men.
Okay, so and I see both perspectives, and it looks like that may be a future show. That looks like a good topic right there. Let me ask you guys something, because it seems like, because I'm asking did anybody learn anything? So we had like 6 shows. Then because it was a lot of shows. Like y'all telling me y'all knew everything about the opposite sex. Y'all just
me and Sandra, we from the old school. So
okay, so all right. So y'all okay. So what do you say, Adrian? Because Adrian is younger.
Because I'll agree with the fact that if anything I learned, I guess I'm wired different. But
I call you
because man, I'm not gonna I feel like I don't want to start no shit. I don't want to start nothing, but I'm like,
this Uniq Xpressions started.
Well, because I love the ladies too, because man, y'all were saying some wild stuff, but some of my ladies were saying some stuff that was kind of wild to me too, where I was like, well, damn. Is this really what our standard really is? I couldn't tell if we were being ironic or not, but it's like, we're dead ass. This is what we actually, because it's like, well, I guess what I did learn is that we both have unrealistic expectations of one another. I guess because that's basically what my takeaway was, because I'm like, I don't know how any of us have been in relationships then, if this is what we're really expecting, because I'm like, it just seems like, I guess, I don't know. It's like, am I lazy? Is it like, does this just sound like a lot to me? Like, and is it like, oh, y'all want me to do that? But it's like, wait, y'all expect them to do that too? And it's like, yeah, this is probably why I'm single right now, because it's like these like unrealistic expectations. It's like, I don't really like know what y'all want. It's like,
what do you think? What do you think is an unrealistic expectations? Like what?
Because, okay, so like what I was hearing a lot of was just like a lot of controlling speak from what I heard. So where the conversation went where you weren't there was, anecdotally, I'm sorry, don't trust my 420 memory on this, but just the scenario was just on, like, let's say a dude wants to go out for the night or whatever, right? And there seemed to be this expectation that it's like, well, he should know that I'm gonna be upset. He should know how I'm gonna react. He should know. And I'm like, well, how should he know? Because I don't want to. I don't want to be held to the expectation that I should know how you're feeling. I'm not fucking psychic. I'm not going to pretend that like I want my partner to be psychic too. So I was kind of worried about where that line of conversation was going. Where you should know this. We expect you to know this, and we expect you to know that.
Okay,
because I don't necessarily. I take people at face value with stuff. I'm not guessing. You're going to tell me what you expect from me because I don't play guessing games. I don't have time. I'm tired. So, you know, I did learn some stuff. I'm not going to lie.
Well, okay. And that's good. Because I wanted to talk about that. What are some of the things that we found, you know, disturbing? Like, I remember one part I found disturbing was that the men could go out and cheat, but then the women couldn't.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Let's talk about it.
And I remember making a statement, and you know, my statement was, well, if you're gonna go out there and get you some, don't leave me at home. Let me go out there, or let me invite some to the house. Since you out there with your son, can I have my son in the house? And I was the villain. But my thing is like, you know, it ain't no fun if the homies can't have none, and we together. Why can't I do what you do? Like, I didn't understand that.
I agree with that because
I agree.
Remember where that went, right? Remember where that went, because the justification was that it's okay that men cheat because it's only physical.
Right. I remember Marielle saying that.
Emotional creatures. It's
that shit
I'm
stuck
like, yo,
with me.
that is like the highest level of BS I've ever heard in my life.
Right.
I
agree.
I don't agree with that either. Okay.
Like, I'm looking at your face, Jus-D. It looks like you want to say something. Can you speak, brother?
I'm timing my stuff. I'm waiting just for the hit the right thing. I'm gonna go all in.
Well, what is something that bothered you? Because you've seen the series, like that sounds like a double standard to me, and it was quite a lot of double standards.
Well, okay. Ever since our ancestors and our forefathers and way back, there's always been double standards between men and women. It's the testosterone versus the estrogen. It's always been a double standard. It's always been the men could go out there and do their thing and they a man, but the woman go out and do it and she a hoe. So as time has progressed, women tend to not accept it as much as it was accepted before. But there's always been a double standard, whether it's men versus women, white versus black, whatever. You know, it's always a double standard. I don't agree with the double standard. You know, I'm with the, if you could go out and do it and I'm supposed to be okay with that, or I'm supposed to forgive you for it, then, but if I do it, it's unacceptable. The thing is, really with men, it's not too far off to me from the truth that when it comes to sex and a man having sex, that it is more physical than emotional. And then with a woman, because we are emotional creatures, it's more emotional. But I don't accept the double standard, and it kind of crosses over and blends in and it's all mixed up. But to me, a man, because they're not emotional creatures, when you hurt their emotions, they can't take it. So for them to have someone cheat on them and they find out about it, it's like, oh my God, I can't.
How could you do this to me?
How could you do this to me? Somebody had my woman, somebody put his thing in my woman where I gotta put it. oh no, I can't take it. I can't forgive it. But with women, it's like, I don't even know how to describe it right now at the moment, but it's like, okay, I love him. I really love him. But I cheated because of whatever reason I cheated. And it's not I'm emotionally attached, because some women have to get an emotional attachment before we give up our body to that person. Even if it's the slightest little thing, like I like him, I think he's sexy and whatever. With men, a lot of times they could screw a woman and the next day they done forgot about her and go back home to their woman, and it's okay.
Right. And I had asked another question. I don't know if y'all remember the question that I asked after that was, what happens when you run into a woman that can have sex without emotions?
Yeah.
They never answer that.
Oh, they exist.
They exist.
Oh, yeah. They exist.
Like, oh,
I know, I got a lot of
and here's the thing, because I'm poly. I'm into poly. I'm polyamorous. I don't mind my woman having another man. There just has to be a communication between us two, and I have to know that, like, okay, just because I'm saying that, okay, no, I want another woman or something like that, or I found somebody else or something like that. I don't want you to come back and be like, okay, well, since you found somebody else, I'm going to go and find somebody else, because that sounds like you're just doing that now out of revenge. But if we're both coming in and you're saying like, oh, babe, I found somebody, or you find this guy, he's interested in, maybe you probably can get to meet him or something like that, sure. You know, that would be the only reason why, but it's never really approached to a man in that sense. It's approached to a man that, oh, well, I want to do it because you get to do it. So we trying to be fair, so I want to do it. I mean, it's if you actually fall in love with somebody, or if you have, because you can't help love. At the end of the day, we just fight it. That's the reason why we have we've been exposed to the idea that we can't love more than one person. We can't. You know, with men, we're just an emotion, but we have to be emotionally attached to you. But we can be emotionally attached without having sex. It just depends on how, you know, we get treated by our woman. You know, whether she's cooking for us, cleaning for us, showing us, like, nurturing, all kinds of stuff. That's what keeps a man, you know, around. But it's not sex. It's definitely not sex. So when another man, like, that's why we can sleep with another so many women or something like that, and then it not feel anything for it the very next day. But, or when we come back and we get caught, no, babe, it's all about you. It's like, I promise you, she's nothing. She means nothing. I'm with you. She is just a fling. It's because we don't bond like that. But y'all kind of do. So, and we know that because we the ones that getting y'all to bond. So when we see y'all cheat, we know that, oh no, this is over with. Like, there's something wrong with our relationship. And we flip out about that. Like,
but that's only some men.
That's not a fair standard.
That's only some men. All men cannot detect that.
Yeah.
Does anybody want to help their brother out?
That one,
Can I ask you a question, Mario?
I didn't know. I'm sorry, I didn't know. I thought that's how we word.
Question, Mario. Am I saying your name right, Mario?
Yeah. Yes.
Let me ask you a question. You said you're polyamorous.
Correct.
So if you're polyamorous, and forgive me for my ignorance because I am old school. If you're polyamorous, so that means you're in a relationship and you don't mind your woman. Is this a woman that you committed to, but you're okay with her going to other people?
There's no commitment. There's no commitment.
There's no commitment.
No, there's commitment.
It's commitment.
Like
So you're committed to her. You're committed to her, but you're okay with her going with another man as long as she communicates it to you.
And Sandra, I'm
with you. It's all about honesty and communication.
And Sandra, I'm with you. That means there's no commitment.
No, it does.
No, commitment.
Y'all didn't watch my polyamorous show?
That's their commitment. Their commitment.
But you're just having a serious relationship with more than one person. That's literally it.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah, that's all it is.
So that's their commitment. Their commitment is that They're honest with each other and they can go and do what they want to do. But have you ever got, what I want to ask Marielle is, have you ever gotten to a point where in a polyamorous relationship, your woman stepped out on, not stepped out, communicate with you, I got a guy I want, or a woman or whatever, I want to be with this person, and then it started getting away with from you, and then how would you, or how did you, or if
I've been in a situation like that. Yeah, I've been in a situation where a woman, like I was into another woman, or I mean, I was into a woman, but she was opening herself up to other men. I allowed it and stuff like that. Go and do your thing. I still treated her the very exact same way of how I wanted to treat. I didn't care, but she'll come to me, telling me about certain things about with the relationship or so, how she was feeling about them and stuff like that. So I gave her that space for her to tell me about it and stuff like that. And then we'll work on our relationship or something like that. And it was like that. But there's a jealousy factor on that side as well that I would have to deal with. So I know what I'll be taking my woman through if I go out and I bring somebody in. You know, like, I guess that makes me feel better about doing it, or understand what I'm doing and how it makes me feel. It makes me more connected to her in that sense. But is it for everybody? Like, nah, it's not for everybody. Like, I don't think that, like, you have to have a good mindset. You have to have a open mindset, or you just have to have a mindset that you just don't, you're just sexually free at the same time. I mean, I hate to kind of say that about that part, but like, we've been, and yeah, I mean, I kind of say like it's old school, but the idea of poly has been around for like since like the BC era. Like,
it has been.
It goes back.
You can go back to
It's
part of some religions too.
But
it's a part of some religions and some of our culture.
Right.
Like, it's
back in biblical days, it leaned, here's the double standard, it leaned more to the men. It was the men that could have multiple wives. And if the woman had more than one man, she could have been beheaded, stoned, or the whole.
Yep.
Names have changed now. Polyandry. That's what it's called.
And these days, like, yes, I mean, I don't know. I say, like, yes, allow women to do what they want to, you know, like, but back in those days, in ancient times and stuff like that, it was more about community building. And the only reason I used to practice a religion that was like that, and it wasn't Muslim, but it was Hebrew Israelites. And with that culture, it was about building the community and populating. So yes, if I have more than one woman, I can populate quicker. I can have more babies more quicker at the end of the year, but by before the end of the year runs out, and we just keep on moving like that. And we can see that with women, so that's why that's the only reason why that was like that. Outside of that, it's really no point of even being married with somebody.
No, wait. Let me ask you something. Can I ask you something? Polyandry, I'm very much into that. I wouldn't mind having more than one man, right? You know what I'm saying? What do the men on this panel think about that?
I wouldn't do polyandry.
Marielle, like,
where's everybody else?
I keep looking at his face.
Where is everybody else? Ain't nobody else saying nothing.
His facial expressions is saying it all.
Ain't nobody saying nothing.
That was like a real question.
No, because I am a woman that can have sex and not have emotions with it. Just do it to physically do it. You know what I'm saying? So you do have women in the world that it's no emotions attached. You know what I'm saying? Now, what they call them? They call them, like we were talking about, aggressive, and you know, they're trying to be like men, but not all women are the same. Now, I am very emotional. I feel it's because of the sign that I am, which is a Leo.
But Leo's in the house.
Right, Leo, you know, but we are very dominant. A lot of us are very dominant. So I can see myself with 2 or 3 boyfriends, like, you know what I'm saying? Or 2 or 3 husbands or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Not that you can do that now legally, but I'm just saying.
You
like,
got
you know
the
what I'm saying?
emotional real estate for that,
So
girl?
what do the men have to say about what she just said? I want
Yeah,
to hear
you know what
that.
I'm saying, Adrian? Like a couple
I
of
said a lot. I will be quiet. I will be quiet. I said a lot.
Jus-D
Yeah,
talk,
you did,
because he
Mary.
looked like he get ready to explode.
Let him
Yes,
talk.
I
Let him
felt
talk.
black
Come on,
men.
speak up. Speak up, man.
Come on, Jus-D, what you saying? He look
Are you
like
done? Are you done?
I'm done.
Are you done?
I'm done for right now.
Are you fucking serious right now?
Mm-hmm.
Yo, I'm gonna be straight up with. I don't share shit. I don't share food. I don't share nothing. I'm an asshole, and I'm sorry. It's just the whole point of that right there. That's the reason why I'm one woman man.
So you're a woman, man. Okay.
I go through my whole face.
Okay. All right.
Sometimes that motherfucker comes up say hello, and I'll be like, hell no, I'm good. But
Okay, I respect that.
But I respect the brother's stance on where he stands. But as for me, I ain't about being old school. It's just like I see things.
I figured.
It's too much emotional drama that goes through that,
right,
from the women's side and from the men's side.
Right.
So either which way, it's like you're gonna fuck yourself either which way.
Mm-hmm.
So I would rather just do one fucking devil and then have to have 6 or 7 sitting there waiting to come at my throat.
Can I ask you a question?
Amen to that.
Jus-D, because a lot of stuff, how we are, is coming from how we were raised or what kind of household we were raised in. And it's either you're going to do the opposite of what you were raised to because it's traumatic, or you're going to go with what you were raised in. Jus-D, were you raised in your parents were together, and or were you raised in a single family, or like?
My father was a stripper. He was a hoe.
I ain't gonna say that.
I got 5 siblings. My father was a hoe. Even after the 5 siblings, he was still a hoe. Right now, he's still a hoe.
I didn't hear Patrick say anything. I didn't hear Patrick speak or anything.
I have to say this. I was raised with my mom and her husband, my stepdad.
Okay.
Now, that man, it was no holds barred. All right, I'm with her. I got to deal with one woman. That's the reason why I always tell anybody, I'd rather deal with one woman 60 different ways than deal with 60 women one way.
There you go.
I respect it.
There you go.
Because he was like, because he didn't play that shit. And any chick that tried to come up to him, he didn't give a fuck. He tell the bitch, quick, that's my wife. You fucking around, really?
I like the way your pops think.
And even when him and my mom separated, they didn't even get divorced. They just separated. When he separated, had a girlfriend, and he came around my mother. He was like, "That's my wife." He didn't give a fuck, and he told straight up. He was like, and the girl that he was with for like 6 years was like, "Why you don't put my name on stuff?" He was like, "I told you straight up, I don't trust you." He's like, "That's the only woman I trust."
I mean, at least he was straight up about it.
Right.
I mean, it's like that. No, it's like, I mean, if you think about it, I mean, like,
my biological father was a straight hoe. He's still a hoe.
I mean, it sounds like he's owning that shit, though.
I call him right now. I call him right now. He has some other bitch house right now.
I mean, it's like that though. I mean, you have men though that do like genuinely love women. Like, I mean, I'm not in the sense of like, okay, I just want to go around sleeping with women, but like, I have an excellent relationship with my baby mama. Like, excellent. Like she just left like 2 weeks ago from my house. Like, I let her come and get the kids, and she stayed the weekend. Like, but she's has a whole nother child. She's pregnant again, you know, by a whole nother person. Like, but I have that's my baby mama. I love her to death. You know, so, but then if I have somebody else around, I love them. It doesn't mean I have to go sleep with them or anything like that. That doesn't define love for me. What defines love is if I care about you, if I think about you, or if it actually matters in my life, whether you're alive or dead. If you cover all 3 of them things, I love you. So if I love you, you're going to be in my life. Now, how deeply you be in my life, whether it would be intimate because we have a bond like that, or you're over here because you're my homegirl. you like a sister or something like that. That just depends. But the person who, I mean, people who can get the closest to my heart to where I can be intimate with them, that's limited space. So just because I'm saying like I'm polyandry, you can sleep with I can be with anybody, it doesn't mean that doesn't have a limit. I have a cap limit too. That's it.
Okay.
But yeah, I just want to make that part clear about, there's people that like, yeah, they have 8 partners, 9 partners. I'm like, I don't know how you do it. I have 4 at the max, and I was like, nope, 2 of them got to go. Like, but
and it was something else that I noticed that the women didn't answer too. What do women really want from men? Like, we didn't come to a definite conclusion. I don't know if y'all remember that. Do you remember that?
I don't want anything from a man. I can take care of myself by myself. If a man, hold on. If a man comes into my life and we tend to communicate and we're on the same page, then I will kindly accept him into my life. But I was raised to be an independent woman, which means my mother told me, don't depend on anyone else except yourself. That's the way I was raised.
I kind of agree with that, but not 100%, because for me, like I said earlier, I don't need a man. I can do it by myself. And I've been doing it by myself for a long time now because I'm in the midst of a divorce. When I had a man in my life, throughout my life, as my adult life, and when it was good, it was good. I feel like anybody that I let in my life should be enhancing my life. I don't need them to make my life good, because I got God for that.
Right, there you go.
I would like to have, it's nice to have a mate for me. And I feel like a mate should be enhancing my life, and I should be enhancing their life. And like I said, it's rare if you ever get 50-50 all the time. That's rare. But it may be 90-10, 80-20. It fluctuates, it waxes and wanes. But for me, I like when I have a brother in my life, I have a companion. And not that I need a man, because I know I could do it on my own, but it's nice to have a man. And I believe, like I said, I'm old school. I believe that's how I was raised. That's how my daddy was. A protector, a provider, and a professor. My father protected our family. He provided for our family, and he professed his love for our family. My mama also provided, protected, and professed. They both worked, and they both worked for years until they retired, and they held the household together. So to me, my mother told me to be independent, but what I would have raised, if my parents were alive today, they'd be married for 72 years. So, and it was always them. So that's how I feel.
Okay. And see how, and the last time I asked the question, we didn't get those answers. Like, I didn't hear a lot from like the younger women. I don't think I got any answers from like Adrian, T, Momo. Like, do we know who we really want from men? Do we know?
Yeah, I feel like that's essentially the problem, isn't it? I feel like no one really knows what they actually want. I feel like it's more people know what they don't want. We all know what we don't want when we fucking see it. It's harder to know what you actually want.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I like that. I like that answer.
I mean, but it's the facts, because I spent a lot of my time in my life like, oh, I want him to be this, I want him to be that. Like, you have you go through the stage where you have the checklist, right? Like, he's got to have this, he's got to have that, he got to have this, and if he don't have that, then fuck you. But then it's like, you might have the fortune of like getting those things, right? Like, you get the guy, he has all this, he has that, he checks all the boxes, but it still doesn't fucking work for some reason. So I've had that experience too, where it's like, well, that seems like a classic case of you thinking you know what you want, and you're actually focusing on insubstantial bullshit and not actually focusing on anything that really matters. So for me, when I think about what I want from a partner, it's more like, and this sounds cliche and dumb, honestly, like now that I'm about to say it aloud, but it's like, I kind of just want someone who will let me be me,
Right.
under the circumstances that I will let you be you, and mean that, not with like any actual stipulations, okay, no psychic weird guesswork, all right, where it's like, yeah, be you, except without, don't do this, and this, or
limitations,
whatever, like without like that sort of stuff, because I just kind of, that's what I want. I don't want to be judged by the person that I'm with. I want to be able to tell you things. I want to be able to be myself. I want to be able to be stupid. I want to be able to fart in the same room as you. I don't care how many weeks we've been dating. If I have to fucking fart, I'm not going into the bathroom, or I'm not going to pretend I don't fucking fart, or I don't take shits after I eat tacos. I'm tired of that shit. Nobody has time for that.
like her.
You're gonna poop in the same house at some point. Like, do you care about this person or not? Like, I just think of it more on that level, because it's like, do you really want to connect with a person or not? Like, is it really about all like that other stuff? Or do you actually want to be with somebody or not?
Right. I agree. Okay. And I agree with all you ladies, because I'll just shine it there. I know there is no one answer for that. But then, on the flip side, when I asked the men, I didn't really I almost got the same thing. So it looks like men don't know what they may want either. Okay. Jus-D. Okay.
Like, he just
come on, co-host. What did you want? What do you want from a woman, Jus-D? What do you really want?
I think the fellas and I and myself on that show, we answered that.
I think
we answered that directly. Yes, all of us was the exact same answer. We need to rewind the clip.
I don't remember that.
They're like, "Where's the footage?"
What was the answer?
It was simple.
Okay, what was the simple answer though?
Feed them and fuck them. Feed them and fuck them. That was literally the answer. No.
That's it. That's all we have to feed us
and fuck them and let them play their video games and mind their business.
And let us play the game, please. That's all I want to do. I just want to play the game.
That's sad. That is so sad.
Why is
that? That's sad.
We are simple.
Feed you and fuck you so you can sit there and play the damn video game. What's wrong? What's wrong with y'all?
But you know what? I don't think that's a good answer, and I'm gonna tell you why. Go ahead, D. I'm gonna let you go. Go ahead, D.
Because doing those two things gets y'all a lot more than just sitting there. Because when we don't want to go to the store, in the back of our head, we like, well, I do want this ass tonight. We just get fuck up and go. And if I don't feel like arguing, I don't play rebutting with you. I'll sit there and just take it.
But I see people just sitting there playing the damn video game and not paying attention to nothing.
I'm gonna let the argument happen. But even fucking with
but then why is there so much cheating and stuff going on?
Exactly.
I didn't understand that answer.
There's probably nagging. Oh.
Like I told you, it's a point to where in the man's life where they gotta have that conquering phase. You gotta see.
They have to have what? What did you say? They have to have what?
A conquering phase.
Oh.
He playing a video game.
It's like you gotta sit there. You gotta see how many chicks you can get. Like when we fellas, when you go to the club with you boys, and you always want
you have bets with your man, with your boys about how many girls you could get, how many numbers you could get.
But y'all grown ass age.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And y'all grown ass age.
It's literally our DNA. It's our nature. We literally have a mechanism where we have to go out.
I don't believe that.
That's how we populate. This is how we
populate. And then y'all go back home and just play video games.
Y'all's job is to filter out men.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Okay. Let me ask you something about that. Because y'all say populate, right? But y'all not out there populating. Most of y'all don't want to have these kids that y'all leave.
We just don't want to get y'all pregnant. We just don't want to get y'all pregnant.
What y'all mean out there populating?
All day long. Something wrong.
No, we just don't want to cake and eat it too.
And then y'all wonder why. And then y'all hold on. Then y'all wonder why women cheat on you. Because you ain't paying them no mind.
At this point.
Exactly.
Playing the fucking game all day, please.
Exactly.
So So what do y'all want us to do? Do y'all want us to be underneath y'all? Y'all want us to be cuddled up underneath y'all all day? Y'all want us to go to the store?
Well, I don't know about anybody else.
Heck no, if you work,
A lot of my friends and sisters.
What are your hobbies?
We work all day. We work all day. We come home and we just want to play the video game.
Time out. See, this is where I went to call bullshit last time because you're literally saying let them enjoy their hobbies. They're telling you they want to play video games. You're like, that's fucking stupid. But it's like,
if they have a job, if they have
video games is a hobby.
If they have a full-time job, if they have a full-time job and they want to come home and play a video game, there's nothing wrong with that.
Fine.
But to sit at damn home all damn day long
I didn't know we were operating under
that. That's different. I didn't know
something wrong with
that.
Something wrong with that. Something definitely wrong with that.
That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about balance.
Let me say it like this. Basically, what you're saying is basically that all we want to do is work, come home, play the game. Listen. I'm gonna try to be as much honest as I possibly can.
Yes, so Uniq Xpressions.
You know that keeps some men from whooping y'all ass.
Really?
Hold on. That's a mic.
Wrong answer. Wrong answer. That means you ain't in love with me then. So why are you here?
Wait, hold on, Renee. I want to hear this.
Oh, yes, it does.
Why are you here?
Hold on, Renee. Hold on.
No, it don't.
Because y'all would say something like, I'll slap the shit out you. I'll beat your ass, nigga. And let a nigga say that. Let a nigga say that.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
So hold on. Let me get to it. Now, with that being said, if my ass, you coming at me arguing about some simple shit that deserves to get slapped.
While you playing your video game, not to cut you up, but while you...
Hold on, Renee. Hold on. Wait, Renee.
And I pick this black motherfucker up right here and start playing my fighting game, leave me alone for about 10 minutes. Because I done thought of 14 different ways to beat your ass, and I'm just fucking taking it out right here.
If I'm on Grand Theft Auto, and I'm just going around just shooting people.
Thinking about 14 different ways.
Exactly.
That's unacceptable, period.
Exactly.
Wait. That's the best thing I ever heard.
So you walk in your house. All
the way down.
So you walk in the house.
Renee, wait. I want to hear. He got to explain this one.
Okay.
Yeah, come on, brother.
Me doing that is better than me arguing back with you. They give me the time to cool the fuck off and get a clear head, so I can come back to you with the situation and we can talk about it. I would rather do that. But the worst thing a man could do is walk off away from y'all when y'all cussing us out.
Okay, I have a question. Is that after you come home from work? That you ready to hit?
Look, no, what are you talking about, Renee?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because what I said was, you work 8 hours a day and you come home and play a video game. And you saying that keeps you guys from slapping us or punching us in the face.
No, not in every situation.
You took it the wrong way.
It's too literal.
I didn't get that from what he said.
No, what I'm saying is that if we want to play our game, it's fucking therapy. Leave us alone.
It's harmless. Like, I don't see why
I don't see a problem with it.
I don't see one either.
Okay, so Jus-D.
Yeah.
What I hear you saying, what I think I'm hearing you saying is you work all day, you come home, you need a little bit of me time.
Right.
Whatever that me time is, playing your game, going in
What if there were no video games?
Whatever.
What if video games was never there? What would you do?
But why does the hobby matter? Why does the hobby matter?
Yeah, whatever
Why does it matter what it is?
relaxes you. Because I understand that. Well, I work all day. This right here is part of my relaxation. Sitting on my
What if there were no video games? What if there were no video games?
Video games.
Video games.
It's just a hobby. Any hobby.
Something else. Something else.
Any hobby. It doesn't really matter.
I think a man should have more than a video game hobby. I think a man should have more than a video game hobby.
What other hobby you gonna have at home besides a video game?
What do you want us to do?
Read a book.
Go play. Right, read a book, play some basketball, play some tennis.
We just had a hard ass day at work.
I don't play basketball. You can read on video games.
It don't matter what you do.
You have video games that tell our whole stories. Like you.
I ain't arguing with y'all. I am not arguing with y'all.
The hobby is not the point.
Exactly.
Right.
The hobby is not the point.
Wait,
Exactly.
time out. Can I ask a question? Just because I'm curious and because I see different age groups in here. There's like, this might be off the mark, but does the gentleman in here, does anybody watch anime? I'm curious to see where my crowd
Yes. Oh, what is your top 5?
Oh, okay. Okay, I see what I'm getting at.
What is your
Okay,
I used to
okay,
watch. I don't
got
watch
it.
no more.
Okay.
Alright.
See, like that's a hobby. It can be any hobby.
But
I love anime. I love anime.
Adrian,
Oh, hold on. I just bought this today.
My
excellent.
son
I
turned me
just bought
onto
this
it, and
today.
I like some of the anime,
Oh, wait a
so
minute.
I
Let me
watched
see.
some of it.
Mario, wait, lift that back up. That is so
Yes.
sick. Oh, okay. That's so sick. That's
I
very
just bought this today.
actually. That's pretty lit, actually. But anyway, so that kind of goes back to what I'm saying. I'm like, the hobby itself doesn't matter. No one's saying that they have one hobby, that they're wasting their lives playing video games. It's like, it's just, they have hobbies, plural, but they should be able to do that without feeling like they're being policed or hassled for doing it.
And I agree with that. I agree with that statement.
People don't grow out of their hobbies. Like, I never grew out of my hobbies. I played video games when I still play video games now. I still watch anime.
I do too.
As a kid.
Yes.
I do too.
Very
I
cool.
think stuff when you were a kid and still liking it as an adult is not a bad thing. Like, you should do that. It's good for your health. Like, seriously. Like,
It's good for your mental health. And everybody in a relationship.
Yeah, but see, when you play,
when you're in a relationship, if you pour yourselves into each other and that's all you have, sooner or later, that's gonna lead into something negative. Everybody, if you lose yourself, then what are you doing? You gotta be true to yourself too, within a relationship. So, you know, I like this and he likes that, and I like this and he likes that. But when we come together, we like each other, as opposed to everything is in him and everything is in her. So he decides to just go to the toilet without me knowing, then it's a problem. So I don't know. That's just my idea. I don't like losing. I don't want to lose me in a relationship. Yeah, my relationship is there, but I was me before I got into this relationship. And I had hobbies and I had likes and I had dislikes and I had habits and things like that. Some of the things you may have to adjust because you're now with a partner. So you have to make concessions or adjustments to your life to be with a partner. But I don't want to lose me.
And if I could say, like, okay, instead of complaining about us playing the video games or something like that, why not learn how to play a game? There's many games that you have to learn. I mean, if you find a thing for us to bond at.
You do have some females that will sit there and watch you play that video game and eventually get into that video game with you and end up playing it with you.
41.
Yes, exactly. And that shit sassy as hell. Oh my God. Ooh. Let me come in. Let me find out y'all coming in.
Like, bro, I done been with females that I'm sitting here playing, say for instance, 2K or a fighting game. Bro, they jump on the game and whoop my ass and be like, hold on.
I'm trying to do that, but somebody won't let me play, but it's cool. You know, it's all right.
Master, you know you playing strip Mortal Kombat. Every time you lose, you gotta take out something, babe. All right, let's go.
I would love to play sometimes. I don't be allowed to play though.
I wanted,
one more trying to say something.
I wanted to piggyback something that was just said because it's really deep and I got a deeper meaning out of it. I don't know if y'all did, so I wanted to regurgitate what was just said real quick. Basically, when you have two different people coming together as one, the most beautiful thing is when the common ground outweighs the differences. So if you come together and you find similarities and things you like, things you both like, I think it should outweigh the things you don't like about each other. And that's how you build a beautiful relationship.
I agree with that. I do agree with that.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree with that. You don't have to give up your hobbies just because, you know, you get with someone else. No. And we should be supportive of each other's hobbies if they're not hurting anybody or you know, so I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree with that. And I'm just picking things that like I didn't get answers to, or I didn't really get a consensus on. Like, and I know somebody told me don't hit politics, but Kamala Harris, we were so up and down on that, like the presidency and stuff like that. But I learned quite a lot about that. That's some of the things I learned about, like, everybody's position on that. What I didn't get, because I know we covered a lot of stuff. Is there anything, before I even get to that anybody had an issue with, or that they wanted to correct, or and I know I probably asked this before, but anything that you learned that really changed your life? Like, we had no life-changing moments, anything like that, or ways that we thought that we should be better? I'm not sure if I went over all of that, but because I'm just looking at some of the questions and stuff I had here, and I have pages and pages of stuff. So I was hoping that, somebody, had some type of either change or something that happened, that may have piqued your interest, or something you want to dispel. Nothing like that. Yeah.
I realized that communication from jump is big. Like, first impressions, first 3 dates, all that is really important, and you want to bear, but you don't want to bear all and scare somebody away. But for me, my takeaway was, when I first meet somebody that I'm interested in and we building, just kind of be calculated on what I share and also boundaries that I have, and also look for red flags where it's time to, like, break communication and jump ship because this person's not for me. So just paying attention to the initial interaction and disclosing the proper information.
Okay. And let me ask you something, guys. Now, you see, this is a woman. Why would a woman feel like that? Is it something that made you feel like that? Like, maybe you went on a couple of dates and something happened, or you found out something from multiple dates with Black men, or just men in general. I'm sorry, just men in general, or?
No, it's just me not paying attention to warning signs sometimes, and being with somebody. Like, I have this 6-month thing. I reevaluate things after 6 months. So it's like, sometimes you get to that 6-month mark and you're like, well, we made it this far. Let's just go for the long haul. And it's like you're settling. It's not like that person is really somebody that is 100% meeting your needs or 100% compatible with you. You just been together for the 6 months. So you're like, well, there's no fish in the sea. It's the slim pickings out there. Let me just stay here. When, if the beginning, it wouldn't have made it to the 6 months if you were paying attention to the signs and communication.
And let me tell you, that is I'm so glad you said that, because I wanted to talk about that too. Is anybody in a relationship where they feel like they settled?
Ooh. Y'all are on camera. Be careful.
Nope.
Well.
Nope. Hey, I'm in a relationship with myself. I settled with myself.
Renee gonna stay single forever. Anybody else is in a relationship where you feel like you're settling for the because I get that from some of you, but I just want to see who's gonna be honest and who's not.
I actually settled for a person and settled for them for 8 years.
8 years?
Sorry, babe. But yeah, 8 years. But yeah, like that, my baby mother.
What made
I
you
love her to death again, though. But
yeah. Okay, I was like, what made you do it? Like, 8 years is a long time. What was like the determining factor?
Like,
Mama, I'm like, all right.
I mean, I guess it was just wanting to be committed, wanting to stay committed. I had kids with her and stuff like that. I was just wanting the family. But we were just drifting far apart, I wasn't really into her like that at the beginning, and then come to find out, she was really with me, kind of wanting my money more than how she really felt about me and stuff. So, I don't know, after 8 years, it was just like, well, it ran its course. Let's not push it any more further or play like we, just head over heels for each other anymore, and could have just ended it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I have
a situation that I will share. when I married my husband, I got married late in life. And this was, I guess, full circle thing, because I knew him since college. I'm 62, so I knew him since college. So you talk to like EP, but I was with my son's father. He was with his children's mother. We were like, whenever there was problems over there, we hooked up. And fast forward to when I was 50, that's when I ran back into him again, and we reunited. And at the time, I was listening to the guy who was on your video, and he was saying there's three types of women that men cheat on.
Yeah.
You had that video?
Yeah.
And one of the reasons when I got back with him at 50, like I left him. I never hooked up with him because of the way he was back then. It was just too much of the trying to get his oats, so to speak, and I wasn't with that. So I never hooked up with him, but we was a jump off, I guess. So now fast forward 50 years, we're 50 and 53, hooked up again. And I think at this point, and now 10 years, 12 years, going on 12 years later, we're getting a divorce. And I think at that time, I was listening to that brother talking, and I was like, wow, like I saw a potential in him at that point. And at 50, he was still working on trying to get himself together. But he was there, but still had work to do. And I think when I saw the potential and I saw that he had changed from when we were like in college and younger, hopefully he did. And that's what I saw, but it just wasn't enough to keep us together. After 10, 11 years now, something like that.
Okay. And y'all right about the red flags and everything like that. I don't know if anybody else is settling. I don't know if anybody want to talk about it. The pandemic, did the pandemic, I guess the pandemic help some of those realizations that you guys were settling? We talked a little bit about the pandemic and things like that. I just had one more question, just one last question, that every time I asked, it never really got answered, whether it was between the men or the women. Every show I asked, what did the men, the women, then us together as a whole, what did we want to leave the world knowing? Like what do we want to tell the world? Like, and it's a very general question, you know, and it might be a lot of answers, but I noticed I didn't get any answers to that. And I actually wrote down like,
I lived my life. I did everything that I wanted to do.
Okay.
I was happy with myself before I left this earth.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you, Coco. Anybody else? Like anything you wanted to let the world know or you know, anything, you know, the battle of sexes taught you or just something that we didn't cover or anything like that? Because there's some things that we didn't cover. I didn't cover them for a reason. But anything that y'all think we should have talked about or, you know, anything that we should have let the world know?
I would say that if I would have to lead the world with something, lessons could be blessings just depending on just depending on your reaction. I mean, just because you get something bad happens or something like that, or it didn't go your way, it was probably a lesson to understand a certain way to come out of it or how to do a scenario different, because what goes around comes right back around. You're going to go through that lesson again. And then it could be a blessing for you if you know what to do and you come out, because the blessing is the fact that you just got stronger from the last time.
Amen.
So,
Amen on that one. Amen on that one.
All right now. All right. I think that the Battle of the Sexes series was great. I actually learned a lot. I learned a lot about my behavior and some of the ways I treat men and things like that. I learned quite a lot, even if y'all did. So if y'all didn't get anything, guess what? The host did. and I'm still gonna be a boss. But but I'm so happy, and I want to thank all the ladies and gentlemen for coming on all the shows that we had. It was 6 whole shows, and it was amazing. And I have a couple of new things coming up with a couple of people in here. You may see different ideas coming up, different shows coming up. I want to thank my co-host, my amazing co-host, Jus-D. You know, I learned some things about you too, Jus-D. You know, I want to thank everybody for coming out. Y'all my day ones. I love y'all. And again, if you like this video, we're gonna have more series like this. Please subscribe, the red button, please subscribe to the channel so you can stay informed on our past episodes and our new episodes coming. It's only gonna get better from here. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. All right, I am again Destinee Jae. If you haven't seen it, we have these shirts, Uniq Xpressions Podcast, for sale. You can go to Uniq, UNIQ Expressions with an X podcast at gmail.com. Any suggestions you have, any things that you find wrong with the show, anything you want to get across to me, Destinee Jae, you can hit me at that email, and I will definitely get back to you. I want to thank everybody for coming out. All right, this is the time. What we do, guys? We wave. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Hey, all I wanna do